Welcome to the 18th episode of Rontro, Class of Retro. Welcome back to another episode of the Class of Retro. Today we will be reviewing Gunstar Heroes for the Sega Genesis and MegaDrive. Let's dive right into the review. Gunstar Heroes is a run-and-gun shooter developed by Treasure and published by Sega on September 9th, 1993 in North America, September 10th, 1993 in Japan, and October of 1993 in Europe. It was eventually ported to the Sega Game Gear by the developers at M2 and was published by Sega on March 24, 1995, only in Japan. The game was produced by Masato Magawa. As previously mentioned, Gunstar Heroes is a side-scrolling run-and-gun game. The player gets 4 weapons to choose from at the start of the game and can be combined in pairs throughout the game to create up to 10 additional weapons, leaving the total of 14 weapons. The player can also engage in close quarters combat. It's possible to grab your enemies and toss them, perform a jumping and sliding attack, and a long-range skid. Unlike most games in the genre, a player's life is represented by numbers. For a player to die, they must be hit multiple times, but only one death will bring you to the continue screen where you have the option to continue the game at the beginning of the stage you died on. What makes things nice is that you do have unlimited continues. The main highlight of Gunstar Heroes are the boss encounters. Often, bosses are found to be large enemies made up of multiple sprites, allowing for fluid movement. As for the soundtrack of this game, the composer is Norio Hanzawa. The soundtrack is pretty awesome and really pushes the Sega's sound chip to its limits. Definitely a thumbs way up for the soundtrack of Gunstar Heroes. Let's move on to the plot. The Western version of the game's storyline differs from the Japanese release. In both storylines, there is a godlike evil robot named Gold and Silver that has the potential to cause complete destruction. Through the efforts of the Gunstar family, which are brothers Red and Blue, sister Yellow, and the eldest brother Green, the 4 gems that were Gold and Silver's power source were taken and hidden. The vicious dictator Colonel Red, known as General Grey in the Japanese storyline, used a mind control machine to enslave Gunstar Green and make him obey Red's orders. Because of this, Colonel Red was able to obtain all 4 gems again in hopes to reactivate Gold and Silver, who Red falsely believes is the bringer of Utopia. The player controls Gunstar Red or Blue through several different environments to recover all 4 gems, fighting tons of Colonel Red's forces and bosses along the way, as well as facing 3 of Red's lieutenants and the mind-controlled Gunstar Green, who fails to kill his brothers and escapes after they defeat his powerful shape-shifting robot, the Seven Force. Shortly after this, the Gunstar brothers find that Colonel Red has kidnapped their sister, Gunstar Yellow. Now, I don't want to give any more of the plot away and spoil the whole game for you. If you want to know the rest of the story, I highly suggest playing Gunstar Heroes. As for this game's release, according to former Sega of America producer Max Sinor, Treasure's Gunstar Heroes was rejected by 12 of Sega's producers and associate producers primarily because of its small sprites, before he decided to pick it up and get the game released. He also revealed that he made only one real change. There's a boss in a military uniform, and in the original version, he was Hitler. Max Sinor asked them to remove the mustache or change the character entirely. This is once again an example of the West's censorship of video games, removing anything that may be deemed offensive. As far as Gunstar Heroes' reception goes, it was awarded Best Action Game of 1993 by Electronic Gaming Monthly. Megatech magazine praised the animation and speed of gameplay and could not think of any downsides to the game. Retro Gamer often praised the game in its print edition and also included it among the top 10 Sega Genesis MegaDrive games in its online version, describing it as an outrageously good platformer shooter that features dazzling graphics, a crazy relentless pace, and dozens of fantastic boss encounters, featuring astounding visuals and all manner of interesting play mechanics to ensure that every level remains as fresh as a proverbial daisy. If you're after a frenetic, blaster, then look no further. This is run and gun heaven and shouldn't be missed. They furthermore included it among the Game Gear's top 10 list as well. I unfortunately didn't have the pleasure of playing this game back in 1993 when it first came out. I was more into the Super Nintendo and I missed out on this great game. It wasn't until a few years ago that I got to play this game on this handheld that I hold right here in my hand. Once I discovered this game, I couldn't put it down for a couple days, completing it multiple times across all difficulties. I really enjoyed playing it again for this review. If I had to rate this game, it would be a 9 out of 10. It had great gameplay, gorgeous graphics, and a stand-up soundtrack. Unfortunately, it loses a point because I found this game easy to complete on all difficulty levels, and the game is sort of short. I highly recommend picking this up for one of the multiple platforms it's available on today, and make sure to grab an extra controller to play with your friends. It really does hold up well even by today's standards. That does it for the review. If you have any memories you'd like to share, then please leave them in the comments section below with any questions, comments, or requests. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you didn't know already, you can find Rontro Gaming on social media. The links will be included in the description below. Be sure to stay tuned after the credits for information on an Easter egg in the game. This has been your host Rontro, and I'll see you next time on the Class of Retro. Game on! Here's an Easter egg for you. Hold down on controller 1 before the Gunstar Heroes logo appears on the screen in order to rotate it.